Crypto is helping transform finance businesses today in a few different ways. And I think one of the challenges for the industry has been to focus on solving real problems for real customers. And Ripple, obviously, from its earliest days, focused on the problem around cross-border payments. That's a point of a lot of friction as measured by speed and cost. And by focusing there, we've been able to have a big impact on that, relatively small piece. But I think over the next years, you're going to see many financial transactions where a middleman sits, a middle transaction, an intermediary. Those will get removed, and we'll use blockchain and other digital asset type technologies to remove that friction. And I think all of society will benefit from improving the efficiency of those systems. I think you'll see that. Certainly, you've seen it in securities settlement as an opportunity. The financial transactions around bonds, around derivatives, a lot of these things take a while to settle, and the friction associated actually holds back the industry. Insurance is an industry I think you're going to see touched. Trade finance is an industry that really Ripple, some of our customers have invited us to participate in. And you've seen experimentation around identity in real estate and title management. And these are all examples where I think it's so hard to predict where this will go, in the same way that 25 years ago, when I first got involved in the Internet of Information, I never could have predicted on my smartphone I'd press a button and I'd have a car picking me up minutes later. I think this will permeate lots of different parts of our society.
It's time for Triple Play, the three stocks that we're watching in the last 10 minutes of trading. We've got MoneyGram, Paramount, and Electronic Arts on deck. Now, my pick is person-to-person payment service MoneyGram, the company debuting a feature allowing US consumers to trade and store Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin via its mobile app. Now, the company joins others attempting to bring real-world cryptocurrency and blockchain use cases to life for everyday consumers. In a statement, Alex Holmes, MoneyGram's chairman and CEO, said, "Cryptocurrencies are additive to everything we're doing at MoneyGram. MoneyGram enables instant access to over 120 currencies around the globe, and we see crypto and digital currencies as another input and output option." Now, this isn't MoneyGram's first foray into crypto, but it's moving more conservatively this time, with just a few more established crypto tokens. Its previous partnership with Ripple came to an end last May after Ripple got sued by the SEC in December of 2020. Of course, Coinbase recently joined a number of groups in arguing that the SEC's case threatens the broader industry. So still a lot of volatility to be had here, but MoneyGram, though, still pressing ahead here, Shauna.
They're pressing ahead. It's not doing a lot for the stock today, though. When you take a look at the market, the reaction, although obviously there's a bigger macro picture going on in today's market action, but certainly if you take a look at the stock, down just a fraction here, so not a lot of excitement. I think potentially MoneyGram's move here, you can make the argument that it could maybe be a step forward into making Bitcoin cryptocurrency, taking that mainstream, giving access to more and more users in terms of that. There was a recent Deloitte survey saying that there certainly is appetite out there for users to be able to get access to cryptocurrencies and use that as part of their transactions. 3/4 of retailers plan to accept either cryptocurrency or stablecoin payments within the next 2 years. 3/4, 75%. That number stuck out to me because I thought it was a bit high when you think about how many transactions are actually done with Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies today.
What's up, guys? Today is yet another glorious day for the XRP Army. It just so happens that the SEC will most certainly not win this case. And that's not all. I have some incredible news for the whole XRP Army. By the end of this video, I'm sure you'll be convinced to buy more XRP before the next bullish trend starts. That's if you're not already too late. With that in mind, let's roll that intro. As always, welcome back to Money Side, your favorite crypto channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you get updates when we drop new videos. Don't forget to smash that like button, and you can always leave a comment or question in the section down below. Now, according to an article that was published by Jeremy Hogan, he predicts that the SEC can't win this case, even if they wanted to. As we all know, the SEC recently asked for more time, which will further delay the case. But all things considered, XRP is without a doubt the upgrade version of Bitcoin. In fact, there is so much hype around Bitcoin and Twitter, but did you know that XRP was used as a payment option on Twitter long before the company even considered using Bitcoin? According to John Deaton, I'm not sure why people say things that are demonstrably not true. And before the haters call me an XRP maxi, I have a larger investment in Bitcoin than XRP. I don't know why people ignore the fact that XRP was being used as a micropayment on Twitter several years before Bitcoin, which is a reply to Pump, who stated, if Elon Musk really wants to turn Twitter into a payments app, then Bitcoin is the only payment network that can handle instantaneous global microtransactions at scale. Twitter tipping already allows users to send US dollars or Bitcoin over the Bitcoin network, so natural extension. And on top of that, another amicus brief that was filed in the case was from Jay Spendbits for his company at Spend the Bits, which utilizes the XRP ledger to spend your Bitcoin, an alternative. Most people who actually think Bitcoin is way better than any other crypto, well, they've probably never set their eyes on XRP. XRP is going to change how we transact money, even across borders, with as little energy used as possible. In fact, the transaction cost for making a transaction on the XRP ledger is nearly close to zero, which is not the case on other platforms. As the world is fast moving into Web3 and new payment options, RippleNet always appears in most conversations, and I can promise you this company is set to become one of the greatest in the crypto and fiat worlds. All you have to do to leverage on this buy is get as many XRPs as you can while we wait for this crypto to go straight to the moon. So, how many XRPs do you have in your wallet? Do you think that's enough to change your future and maybe make you the first person in your family to become a millionaire? Let us know what you think in the comments section below.
Yeah, and I do want to talk about Ripple's future if it does fall that way. But before we do, in terms of industry-wide precedent that might be set, so far the SEC has really only partitioned off Bitcoin and perhaps Ether as falling under the purview of the CFTC. You this week met with Caroline Pham, who's one of the commissioners of the CFTC. What did you guys talk about?
Well, I think Commissioner Pham's learning. I think she's very bright, still, relatively new to her position, and I think trying to learn. And I think she has spoken out about the need for the clarity that we have been seeking. And so, even what you're describing, the SEC Chair Gensler has said he won't comment on specific projects. He does comment on Bitcoin, which is a specific project. When asked directly about ETH, despite the previous administration, they viewed ETH to have been a security, then transitioned to a non-security. You now have the SEC making noises that perhaps ETH is indeed a security, and even in a recent legal filing not related to Ripple, they made the assertion that because most ETH nodes are based geographically in the United States, that they have jurisdiction to regulate ETH. So look, I do think at the core we have to go back to what is the law? What is the statute that Congress wrote to give the SEC power? And in this case, I think the SEC has greatly overstepped, and not just in this case, but what we're seeing with ETH. Gary Gensler also likes to say, that the rules are clear, but then you ask him, well, is ETH a security? He won't answer. Well, if they're that clear, let's provide the clarity that everyone's seeking. And I think it's just been really kind of frustrating and disingenuous.
Now, the implications for Ripple, you had mentioned that perhaps the company would leave the US, like you're based in San Francisco right now. How realistic a scenario is that in the aftermath of this ruling?
Well, we already have our second largest office today is London. We have a large office in Singapore. We have offices in Sao Paulo, Mumbai. So I view, it's a very global business to begin with. I mentioned earlier, 95% of our customers are non-US, and that certainly has continued to be the case during the lawsuit here in the US. So I don't think it's going to change our business much, depending upon how it plays out. We have had, almost growing 10x year on year in terms of volumes across what we call RippleNet, and that's in the middle of the lawsuit. So I do think about this a lot in the context of what does it mean for the U.S. crypto industry? How do we think about blockchain growing and thriving here domestically? And I think as a U.S. citizen, I care, and I think it's important for us to be competitive to have that clarity.
When people think about the SEC versus the CFTC in terms of being the regulator of crypto, the SEC is typically seen as being stricter and kind of harder in their stance on digital assets. CFTC a bit softer. Does that stereotype bear out?
Well, I would characterize the SEC has built a reputation, I think it's deserved, as being a bully. Many players that the SEC has gone after, they simply have to fold their cards. Ripple will spend well over $100 million defending ourselves in a case that we have tried to move forward as quickly as we can, and the SEC has gone as slowly as they can.
And always trade safely, guys. Please keep in mind we're not a licensed financial advisor. All videos on this channel are intended for entertainment purposes only. You can always let us know what you think in the comment section below, and let's have a conversation. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and please click on that subscribe button below and turn on notifications so you get informed whenever we post our amazing content. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next Money Side.